So we are recording. Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast.
Hey, you got it right,
I got it right this time. My name is Alan Smith. I am here along with
Big Dave.
And we are going to tackle the... How do we put this? We're going to tackle Scott Pilgrim on this because it's more than just the movie, and
It's also the books,
and there's a video game, and there's a whole lot more to it. So, most of you are familiar with the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which came out in 2010. I think it was September 22nd, if I'm not mistaken.
But it very much feels like a Gen X movie to me.
Well, that's because of all the video game references in it and stuff.
All the 8-bit stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and
the comic book labeling.
Absolutely. I mean, this was very much a. And before we get into the movie, I want to talk about the books a little bit.
Which I've only read the first two.
Yeah,
thank you for loaning those to me.
No problem. I have all of them. There are 6 books. The first book was called Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. The second one is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is where they actually got the name of the movie. Yes. The third one is Scott Pilgrim and the Infinite Sadness.
Yeah.
You know, there's your Gen X reference there.
Yeah.
The fourth book is Scott Pilgrim Gets It Together. Number 5 is Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe. And the final book was Scott Pilgrim's Finest Hour. Let's see. The first book was released in August of 2004, and the last book was released in July of 2010, like right before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Okay? And that was kind of a... I found this book, this series of books. They're on Oni Press. There was Bryan Lee O'Malley wrote this, and he's from Canada. And that's why this is a very Canadian book, as well as the movie. They talk about that quite a bit.
Yeah. The Great Frozen North.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. Like, Ramona Flowers is American, and they act like she's like, oh, she's American. It's just
yeah.
So it's the name Scott Pilgrim came. There was a Canadian band, it was an all-female band named Plumtree. If you notice
they're on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
The song Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
that's where it came from. And in the movie, Michael Cera is wearing a Plumtree shirt when they're performing at one point. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the song. It's
come on, it's not that bad.
It's an indie song. It's cool. I mean, it's not a. There's other stuff that I like more.
I'm not gonna lie. Because I rewatched it last night in preparation for this.
Yeah, I meant to rewatch it and get around to it, but I've seen this movie so many times that I can go right off of it without any problem. So it's a.
But it was one of those things to where I'm listening to the music and I'm like, I feel like I'm listening to WRVU all over again.
Well,
which was our local rock indie station from Vanderbilt.
You've got Beck. You've got this is where I discovered Metric. This is the song.
Bad Black Sheep, which is done by.
It's actually in the movie. It's
Clash at Dragonhead.
No, Clash at Demonhead.
Which
do you know what Clash at Demonhead? It's an old NES game.
Oh, is that what it is?
There are so many references to video games in this.
Well, the whole 8-bit intro.
Oh, I know, and that is a huge thing. I mean, it's a so.
Go back to the book.
Yeah, this is because it's one of those things that you really have to start with the book in order to get to the movie. And the reason why I said, okay, so I discovered Scott Pilgrim, the books. Like I said, it's on Oni Press, and they came out basically one a year because they're in the manga style. Where they're not you don't read right to left like you would in a manga, but it's very much that style of they weren't put out in like individual comic size stuff. It's like, no, they're these little digest books.
Yeah.
And they're each a chapter, and they all have a volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, whatever. So,
which each one of those was only like a 20-minute read for me.
They're real easy reads.
Yeah.
So what happened is I was listening, this was back in 2008. Okay.
All right.
So the fourth book had just come out. I think that's right. Something like that. And it was a situation where I was listening to a podcast back then that was called Around Comics. It was out of Chicago. And they were big in like the comics circle, you know. And one of the guys that was on there was talking about this book series that he had just that like the fourth volume of this book series he was reading called Scott Pilgrim was out, and he kept saying, I don't want to give this away. You know, he was like, but it's one of those things that he was kind of laying out the whole, like, you know, Scott Pilgrim, he's like, what, 22 or 23 years old?
22.
He's 22, and he's dating this...
They make a big deal about this.
And he's dating this 17-year-old girl, and he's playing in a band, you know, it's Knives Chow, you know, and this and that. And then he was just like, and then something happens. And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And, of course, that piqued my interest. I'm like, all right, so I wound up going and buying this book. You've read the first book.
I've read the first
You've read the first two, but just the first book, okay?
Yeah.
I read this thing and was just like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever read in my life. And I started suggesting it to everyone that I knew. And a lot of them went and bought the book. And I kept saying, you're going to think it's this one thing until you get about 3/4 of the way into the book. And then all of a sudden it's going to turn into something. It's going to take this left turn into something completely different. And it's remarkable. And everybody who read it came back to me going, oh my God, that is one of the greatest twists I have ever seen. And we're going to spoil it here because, I mean, we're talking about something
this movie's been out for a while.
Well, it's not the movie. We're talking about the books. The books have been out for a while. But basically what happens is the first 3/4 of Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life is just your basic boy meets girl, you know, disaffected 20-something who, you know, is not really going anywhere in life, playing a band with his friends. You know, we've got the roommates and, you know, plays a lot of video games and, you know, hangs out at the bar and blah, 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 blah. He meets Ramona Flowers because in his dreams, she quite literally like roller skates through his dreams. Rollerblades through his dreams. And then
she's basically using what would she call it? A subsonic
whatever
highway.
It was. Which is one of those
you don't have those in Canada?
Yeah, which is this weird, like, okay, yeah, whatever. Then come to find it, you know, and they kind of spark up a relationship. And it's, you know, that whole dream thing aside, it's fairly normal. And then she gets to the point where, like, oh, we're going to start dating. She's like, yeah, but in order to date me, you have to fight my 7 evil exes. And it's like, what? Okay, sure, whatever. And then when the first battle happens, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is all video game logic. Every bit of it. This changes everything. Yeah. And it became for a while, like in the comics, like the comic circles and stuff, people read this, that people talked about the Scott Pilgrim twist. Yeah. That was a thing for years. Like, we was like, oh, and it's got a twist, and we were like, is it like the Scott Pilgrim twist, or is this like some other, that became like a touchstone in those circles for a long time, because
I only got $1.40.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Not enough for the bus.
Because it's one of those things that once it hits that, it's like, oh, game on. Here we go. Okay.
Quite literally.
Yeah. And so those, like, of course, you know, like I said, the first 4 books are out, so it was buy the next one, okay, buy the next one, okay, buy the next one. I was passing them off to people. They were going and buying their own copies of this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then we had to wait. But it was
you got Stephen King Dark Tower.
Yeah. So it was one of those things that, you know, over the course of the next couple of years, the final books came out, you know, as well as they announced there's a movie. Oh, Edgar Wright's making the movie. Okay, this is cool. Then they start, okay, Michael Cera's playing Scott Pilgrim. I'll admit, I was not really on board with that to begin with. I was like, no.
I had heard about the books, right? But then somebody was like, well, you got to go see the movies. I went to see the movie. I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. And then I read the first 2 books, and I was like, Michael Cera is not
Scott Pilgrim.
Not Scott Pilgrim.
No. Now, I think they did some great casting on some of the other people in this.
Stephen Stills.
Yes, I know.
Kim.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Knives was
brilliant.
Yeah,
was brilliant. I have a problem with. I thought that Mary Elizabeth Winstead was wonderful as Ramona Flowers. Yeah. However, as much, and I know you don't like her, but I do like.
I think Brie Larson this role was actually, you didn't like her?
No, because the thing is, you've only read the first 2.
Yeah, I've only read the first 2
So you
books.
haven't gotten to Envy Adams yet, because it's one of those things. She's a specter in the first couple of books of like they talk about Scott's ex-girlfriend Envy that like ruined, that like decimated. When she finally comes in, nothing like Brie Larson.
Oh, really?
Nothing. And as a matter of fact, in the movie, that character is only in it a small amount of time. In the books, she plays a factor all the way on through. Okay. And it goes into some other places. Anyway, so that's where we are. Okay, so the movies.
I've never been a big fan of Brie Larson in the movies that she's been in. I mean, Captain Marvel was.
Yeah, I thought she was good in that role.
It was not bad. It was a popcorn movie for me. It was
absolutely. I tell you what movie that I really started liking her was 21 Jump Street.
I hated that movie.
I love that movie because of what it's just fun. It's just so much fun.
I'm not hating on Brie Larson. I'm sure she's a great actress. It's just that everything that she's been in, I haven't really dug.
Right. I mean, I get that. I mean, that's I haven't liked everything that she's in. Those I like her as Captain Marvel, and
because I haven't read the rest of the books, I'm sure that'll change. But for right now, I'm actually okay with her as Envy.
So, and we'll try it because I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've read the books. So I'm kind of. I remember a lot. I remember some big differences, but I don't remember all of them.
The one that struck me just from reading the first two books was in the books they make a big deal about Scott being a fighter. He's a really good fighter. He actually prides himself on being a good fighter. Right.
I'll tell you one of the things that...
And that's not really a plot point in the movie.
And also it's that whole Michael Cera. It's like, I just can't buy him as a fighter. That's, it's one of the big things that I and a lot of other people who read the books and then saw the movie took away from it and still talk about it is that in the books, Ramona Flowers is actually a character. Whereas in the movie, she's just a plot device.
Okay, I can see that.
Because they really do not develop her character whatsoever. She's just there for Scott Pilgrim to go through all of this stuff. Yeah. That's all it is to it.
Well, and every time he asks her about her background, she kind of...
Right, and you learn a whole lot more about her in the books. And that's... Again, you're talking about 6 volumes that they put into one movie. Yeah. I think they could have made...
They could have developed that character a little bit more.
They could have made a series out of the movies. They really could have. Yeah. Now, it wasn't... Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was not a box office success.
It's more of a cult thing.
Right. It is one of the best things I ever heard someone say about this movie. Like after it was released. Sure. It was, I forget, I think it was Wired magazine or Wired.com I was reading, back when they were cool. And but the review of it, this was the review. Sure. The title of the review, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is the reason that comic book lovers can't have nice things.
Oh, I remember that article.
And it went on to say this is a brilliant movie that the people who are in the know love. But the rest of the world has not caught up to, and so therefore, we're not going to get any more. It's not doing well. It's not going to get a sequel. It's not going to, and people should see this movie because it is great. Yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. It's
well, I mean, one of the things that struck me after reading the first 2 books and then watching the movie last night is they almost in a lot of the scenes they almost used the book as a storyboard,
right?
For the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there are a lot of scenes out of the movie that are straight out of the book.
When they're going through the apartment, that whole where it's showing like all the video games and all the stuff that's in there and who owns what and how much and all that is straight out of the books.
Well, even the scene where Wallace meets Knives for the first time, and he bends down and grabs her arms and goes, "You are too good for him."
Right,
out of the book.
I know. Let's go through the cast real quick. Yeah, this has got a very large cast of people who would go on to be big later.
Do the person and do the person they were.
So we have Michael Cera plays Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Ramona Flowers.
Yes.
Okay. Prior to this, probably the biggest thing that she was in was Live Free or Die Hard. So she played his daughter.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that.
Now, prior to that, she was in Death Proof.
Oh,
she's the cheerleader.
Yeah.
She's the actress that's dressed like the cheerleader. Like, you only see her for just a little bit of time, but it's one of those things that whenever I first heard, they're like, "Oh, she's going to play Ramona Flowers." I was like, yes, so let her play Ramona Flowers. I'm all for this. Okay, so Wallace Wells, who is Scott's gay roommate, because they make a big deal about that
in the books and the movie.
Is played by Kieran Culkin.
Yeah.
Scott's sister Stacy is Anna Kendrick. Mm-hmm. This is one of the first times a lot of us saw Anna Kendrick.
Yep.
Kim Pine, who plays the drummer in Sex Bomb. Oh, his band's name is Sex Bomb.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Another video game reference because of the bombs from Nintendo, from Super Mario Brothers. Allison Pill, who has been in she was on the Newsroom. Yeah, and different. Okay.
Is that Julie?
She was the love interest, the one that man. It's been so long since I've watched that show. That was such a good show.
Was she one of the evil exes?
No. She was the drummer. Kim Pine. She played okay. Julie Powers is not an evil ex. She works in the coffee shop that's Aubrey Plaza.
That's right.
Yeah,
but she's the record store. She's the coffee shop.
Right.
She basically works at every business that Scott Pilgrim walks into. Pretty much.
Gideon Graves, who is the ultimate evil ex.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yep.
Okay.
And with a last name like Schwartzman, how could you not be the ultimate bad guy?
Knives Chow, Ellen Wong.
Yeah.
Who has been? Let's see. She was. I'm trying to remember what all she's been in. She's been in a bunch of stuff since then. She was in the X-Men movie, Days of Future Past. Or no, the one that was set in the 80s. Was that Age of Apocalypse? She played Jubilee. She's only in it for a small amount of time.
No, that's Days of Future Past.
Is that no? It's Age of Apocalypse. That's set in the 1980s. Because Days of Future Past is in the 70s.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Ellen Wong. She's been in a bunch of others. I think she was in. Wasn't she in The Deadly Class also?
Oh,
was she? Hold on. You know what? I can look her up right here.
Yeah, that's actually.
Oh, she's in Glow.
I haven't
Netflix.
seen.
I forgot. That's right.
Glow.
She's in that.
I can't believe you brought up Deadly Class because it's
is she in The Deadly Class.
It has disappeared.
Maybe she's not. That show. It got canceled. No, I'm wrong. She wasn't in The Deadly Class.
I don't know why that show got canceled because that show was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's even disappeared off of Sci-Fi.
Oh, really?
You can't even watch it on the Sci-Fi Channel app anymore.
I'm going through. I'm not doing everybody in
this. And if you didn't download the soundtrack on Spotify.
I know that.
Oh, such a great soundtrack.
Okay, so you get into someone like The Smaller, okay?
Yeah.
There was one of her evil exes is Lucas Lee, who's this big, he's like a skateboarder who turns into a movie star.
Chris Evans.
It's Chris Evans. This is pre.
Do you really think you're going to code me into doing that?
This is pre, Captain America. Watching? Yeah.
Bored.
Of course, Brie Larson played Envy Adams.
You had the guy that played
Superman. Hold on, we're getting there. It's Brandon Routh plays Todd Ingram. Yeah, he plays Envy's boyfriend.
Vegan, super vegan.
Okay, there's more to that. Okay, Mae Whitman plays Roxy, who is one of her. Also, we find out she had a sexy. As Scott keeps putting it, a sexy phase.
Yeah.
Mae Whitman plays Roxy, one of her exes. Brandon Routh. Hold on. Let's see who else was in this. Bill Hader was in it.
Bill.
Yep.
Bill Hader.
Now, one of the
who was
he plays?
Who did Bill Hader? I can't believe I missed that.
He's the voice. Finish him, all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's all Bill Hader.
Okay.
Now, an uncredited.
Yeah.
When the vegan police show up.
Yeah.
It's the guy that played the Punisher.
Which Punisher?
The in the Punisher, like the one with John Travolta. Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane.
It's Thomas Jane, and he's uncredited. He shows up.
I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's one of those where it's like, it's that person. It's that, and they all went on to do or type stuff.
Do other stuff.
Yeah, and
which. Altered Carbon on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. Thomas Jane is in that.
Right.
If you haven't seen that, you really need to watch it.
Thomas Jane is one of those actors that you know, he was known for a lot. Of course, he was in the Punisher movie. But what was really cool about here's the thing about Thomas Jane. He did that Punisher movie. Okay, and he wanted to come back to do more.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he was going to be in Punisher Warzone, and something happened, and he wound up not doing it. But he did. There were a couple of video games. He did the voice for as the Punisher, as well as not just Punisher games, but like Marvel games. He did that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was a short that was done. It's on YouTube. It's called Dirty Laundry. That it's the Punisher, but they never say it's the Punisher.
Okay.
And Thomas Jane plays that character again. It's like 7 or 8 minutes long, or something like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy that movie.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's a fun popcorn movie.
I have my problems with that movie.
Well, there's problems with the movie because he's too nice.
Now I like the John Barenthal Punisher a whole
the
lot
Netflix
more.
original.
Yeah.
No, that's more true.
That is he is
Punisher.
Frank Castle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Thomas Jane, of course, did. He was in The Mist.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Now, did you ever see Hung? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was a show that was on HBO.
Well, there's your first problem.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was a good show. It was a real good show.
I don't have HBO.
Well, yeah.
I can't afford it.
It was a real good show, but it was only on like 2 seasons or something.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, he was a middle-aged PE teacher that like he was a up-and-coming sports star that didn't quite make it, and he's divorced and got a couple of kids and that kind of stuff. But the reason it's called Hung is because he's well endowed.
Oh no!
And he becomes a gigolo, basically.
No.
And dude, it is a great show. I mean, it's a great show, but it was only on like 2 seasons, but I have always liked Thomas Jane. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff over the years. Anyway,
back to Scott
Pilgrim. In the lead up to the movie, I mean, I was really excited about this movie.
Yeah,
really excited about it, and I was not disappointed in this movie at all. There's a few things, like I said, they could have developed Ramona a little more. I think they could have cast Envy a little better, but but it's one of those things I'm fine with it because they hit all the marks that they needed to for me to enjoy this movie.
Sure,
it is one of those movies that over the years I have told people you need to watch this. Well, what is it? Just sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
It's going to start off as one thing, and then it's going to wind up somewhere else. Just, and within reason, most people have enjoyed it. There are a couple times people are like, I hate that movie. I'm like, well, we're not friends now. But there are certain things that, it's that whole...
So that's the hill you're going to die on,
exactly. Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. But no, it's the soundtrack, once again.
Oh, well, a lot of it's written by Beck.
Yes, Beck,
with the actual actors.
Right.
Michael Cera actually plays bass.
Right.
So he's actually playing the bass in there. The other 2 actors, the other 3 actors, because young Neil eventually comes in to play bass. Yeah. They all had to learn their instruments.
Right.
But they're actually playing their instruments, for the movie.
And it was one of those things of. Because I had read this, of course, when you read something that has a fictitious band in it, you kind of make up what you think they sound like in your head. And I was not just they didn't sound exactly the way I imagined, but I'm like, no, that works.
Yeah,
that works. Quite a bit.
The fact that they're coming out as kind of that heavy fuzz noise band.
Yeah, that very indie rock. Yeah, I get that. Let's get into the movie a little bit now and talk about it. This, like I said, Edgar Wright did this perfect. I mean, and it was one of those things that not only when he was hired to direct this movie, it was one of those things you could tell he really enjoyed because, like his Twitter account at the time, he would just every once in a while drop photos from the set, or it would be like, hey, we cast. Like I remember very vividly, it was like, hey, we cast. Knives Chow, it was Ellen Wong.
Yeah.
And the picture that he put out there was her, but she had a copy of the book and had it up to where you couldn't see anything except for her eyes, type stuff. So it was one of those like, oh, they're really like playing this coy like all the way through. And he would just drop these little here and there.
Easter eggs.
Yeah. And so it was one of those things, like I said,
breadcrumbs.
metric, because it was one of those things when they first talked about the soundtrack because it was a couple of months out that they started talking about the soundtrack, and they actually released the song Black Sheep to YouTube or something, to where it was like, okay, I went and listened to it. I was like, who is this band? I really like this. And I wound up becoming a fan of Metric over the after that, because I was like, these guys are amazing.
I still need you to
give you all. I thought I gave you that stuff.
No,
I thought I did. So.
You gave me all the De La Soul stuff that I couldn't find.
I thought it was Metric.
But the first time I heard the song where it starts off and it's like heavy.
Right. I know.
And it builds up and builds. And all of a sudden it goes into like this little sing-songy pop
in
thing.
the middle.
And
it's great. It's like, whoa, where did that come from?
That's a twist.
I know. And that, again, Brie Larson actually performs that in the movie. It's not Metric doing it. It's not Emily. It's Brie Larson. And I'll be honest, I don't like it that much.
No, the Metric's much better.
Now, I will say this. And it translates pretty well to home, like especially if you got a good home stereo system.
Yeah.
But especially in the theater, when they started playing that song, they did a wonderful job of capturing what a live performance feels and sounds like.
Yeah.
It was just like, whoa, they really got this, okay, all right, we're down with this.
There's only one other movie that I can think of that
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous, when
Fever Dog
walks out on
perfect.
stage.
It's like when Stillwater walks out and starts doing Fever Dog, it's like, oh yeah, this is how it feels to be at a concert. It's like, but yeah, they did a really good job on that.
I'm in the middle of upgrading my sound system here at the house. I just ordered some new speakers.
Is that why you sent me that link earlier?
Well, one, I followed that company on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And when I saw their scratch and dent sale come up, where it's like 80% off, I went over and looked at it, and they had a pair of their reference speakers for like $60.
Yeah.
Free shipping. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, considering the woofer on one of my mains is blown right now, I'm buying those.
Yeah. And like
considering they're normally like $300.
Yeah, I appreciate you sending me that, but I just don't have the money for it right now. That was like, I wish I had some money because this is some nice stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so they do. You were talking about also some of the stuff from the book that they translate into the movie.
Yeah, like the
Aubrey Plaza. Okay, and it's like she cusses like in the movie, and like all of a sudden, and in the book it's the same way, where like this little black bar comes over her mouth.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Like, how do you do that? She's like, what are you talking about? It's just there's that little stuff where it's like from the beginning, that this is not the real world. Like there's some other little stuff that's going on here. The funny little another one. That's one of the jokes from the book that's in the thing is when he's going around asking about this girl, does anybody know who she is? Yeah, she works for Amazon. And he's like, what's the web address? What's the website name for Amazon? It's like,
what's the web address for Amazon.ca?
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon.ca.
Yeah, it's like, but it's
this computer's telling me I have mail.
Yeah,
is that true?
I know. There's all kinds of stuff like it where it's like one of my friends that I turned on to this book, especially as the series was over.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, we were like, man, it's so good. It's my buddy Mike, and Mike was like, I really think that Scott Pilgrim has like, that the character of Scott Pilgrim is like mentally deranged. Like he has mental issues, like mental health issues. That's why he acts the way he does, and the way that why he sees things the way that he does, and no one else sees them like that. Like he's delusional. And I'm like, I didn't read it that way, but I see exactly where you're coming from.
You're going from.
That's he's got some kind of brain damage or something. It's
or just a little mental health issue where his world's a little off kilter, and he sees it in a completely different way.
But like I said,
I know I do
so much, especially in these first couple of books here.
Yeah,
that you read, you saw a lot of it in the movie.
Oh,
it's like
a lot of it could have been storyboard for the movie.
And there is very specifically stuff that happens in these first couple of books and that's part of the problem is that the last half of the movie is really rushed because they're trying to get through like 4 more chapters of the story. And that's again goes back to the whole Envy Adams. Okay. We keep talking about Envy Adams in this, okay? And she is Scott's ex. They dated in college.
Yeah.
I think they played in a band together, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with Kim.
With Kim, that's right. And then
actually, he met Envy first,
right?
And
he dated Kim
and
after that.
And they were trying to get the band. They were trying to and he discovered Kim, who Kim actually had a crush on him.
Right.
And he found out that she played drums in the school band, and that's how they got her.
Right.
And then Envy decided she was going to
go solo, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and move to another town.
Yeah, and then she blew up. I'm like, she got a record deal, and they started, So it's this is a specter of this ex that is, and then they find out, they're coming to town. The Clash at Demon Head, which again is it's a video game reference. And so in the books, there is this she comes back, and even though he's with Ramona and only wants to be with Ramona, she's still wreaking havoc on his life a lot more than what you see. Because really, let's be honest, that character's only in a handful of scenes. Like, there's right in the middle. She shows up at the record shop, and then they go to...
Well, no, a poster of her shows up at the record shop.
But then walks out of the poster, basically. She is the poster, remember?
But that's after the phone call.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You get the phone call where she lets him know he's coming to town, and she wants his band to open up.
Right.
And she's like, "Well, just come by the club, and we'll see."
But it's one of those things that she shows up,
and then in the record store, there's a poster, and then all of a sudden she's there,
and then they're at the club, and it's the. I still love the whole fact that Knives loves the Clash at Demon Head. Loves them, and so it's one of those things. She's so excited to meet them.
Yeah.
And the only thing she can come up with is, I've kissed the lips that you've kissed. And that's a thing in the book too. Like, it just
the whole thing when they're walking to the green room where somebody goes, "Oh yeah, he used to date Envy."
Right.
And she does that whole surprise face, but it's in 8-bit comic video.
Yeah. Knives is also fleshed out a lot more in the books, especially going forward, because it's one of those things that they're really kind of mean to her in the movie, especially.
You actually get to see how she met Scott,
right,
in the books.
But in the movie, they're really kind of mean to her.
Yeah,
and in a lot, because it's one of those things is like that whole thing with them doing the Dance Revolution fight is not in the books at all. I think they created it so they could have that sequence, but also to give her something else to do, because this whole thing is like they're dating, and she obviously is in love with him, and he's just there because he's something to do in between girlfriends. Then he meets Ramona, and then
a simple prop to occupy his time.
Pretty much, exactly. and so it's one of those things where they're. It's this whole contentious thing between Ramona and Knives. And in the books, it's one of those things where later on, because another thing, it's really a big deal that she's only 17.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so it's one of those things that I think it's in the final book, and everything's kind of gone to hell. Like he's not with anybody because of everything that's happened. And Knives shows up, and all of a sudden, it's like when she walks into frame, it's Knives, but it's like she's all shiny and like this whole new look and everything. I mean, it's like it's her, but it's like this much more glamorous version of her.
She leveled up.
No, she's 18.
Oh. Like I said, she leveled up.
And it's one of those things when she walks in and it's like, and nothing is said, and he looks at her and he's like, "Oh my God, you're 18." It's that type of thing. And also her and young Neil wind up together in the books.
Yes.
Which I can't, that doesn't have, does that
yes,
have?
That happens.
Okay.
Because
there's more to it though in the books. So
she decides that she's going to make Scott jealous by going after young Neil, and she and young Neil end up together.
There's a joke in the books where they're out at dinner, and she's 18 or whatever, and I don't think it's young Neil. I think it's actually
who later becomes just Neil.
Yeah,
as Scott deems it.
Right. You know what? It's been a while since I read. I can't remember. I think young Neil actually turns out to be gay in the books. He winds up with Wallace.
Okay.
And who's the other band member?
It was Stephen Kim and Scott.
I guess it was Stephen Stills then. Stephen Stills winds up with knives. That's what it is at later.
Okay.
I think that's what it happens. I might have my characters mixed up, but it's funny because they're at dinner, they're in a restaurant, and Stephen Stills keeps giving knives alcohol, and it's funny, and they're like, "Man, stop doing that." And he's like, "No, it's funny to give the 18-year-old alcohol." And then there's this little note, it's like, "Don't give 18-year-olds alcohol."
But poor Kim.
And then Kim, I really wish I'd gone back and read these. That's a lot of reading to do.
I need the next two, by the way.
Okay, and but it's one of those things where it goes into you get that. You get some of Scott's comeuppance in the movie, where he has to kind of confront Envy and Kim and all this stuff. But in the books, there's really a lot of comeuppance of them, like, hey, look, you just treated me like crap, type stuff. And Knives even gets at him, and I always felt bad for Kim, because it's one, I have a thing for redheads. Two, she's a drummer. Three, you can tell that she's really still in love with Scott. Well, she's pissed at him now.
But she's angry. Well, she loves him, but she's angry with him.
And it's also one of those things, like his reaction when they say, "Well, what about Kim?" It's like, well, she had freckles. Like, that's his only explanation for why they broke up. Dude, it was like
redheaded and freckled. That's a unicorn. You need to date that every time.
But it was just one of those things where, like, that was his whole excuse. It was like, she had freckles. And it was like, hey, you're an ass. Okay,
you're very shallow,
right? And that's the whole thing. Especially the character of Scott Pilgrim in the books. You get some depth with him by the time it's over. You never get that in the movie. Whatsoever. He's just shallow. I mean, even with the so-called happy ending, but it's still one of those things where it's like, no, you're still like a terrible person. This is, and that's one of the things I love because, like I said, he has some growth in the books and everything, but it's still one of those things where, like, no, he's still a terrible person. That's what this comes down to, is that, and I kind of like that because it's not your typical, oh, we have this hero's journey or this whatever, or this redemption story type stuff. It's like,
there's no redemption.
No, there really isn't.
Because he's a shallow idiot.
Absolutely. He's thinking about me right now. Now, I'll tell you who is the star in both the book and the movie. Is Wallace.
Wallace has depth to it.
Wallace is,
he's almost trying to be Scott's conscience.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I mean, because again, with the whole "you were better than,"
he is almost Scott's Jiminy Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
Very and he friendly, flamboyant, stealing Scott's Scott's sister's boyfriends,
and that happens multiple times. Yeah. I mean, it's hilarious, It's that's just Wallace. I mean, it's such a great character,
Does he have glasses?
Yeah, there is so, man. It's such a good, and again, you get these characters, like you have Wallace, who is gay, but he's not the gay best friend or the gay whatever. It's like they mention that he's gay, but that's it. It's just like, no, it's like, that's just one thing about this character. There's so much more going on there, and it is one of those things where he is kind of the wise. Like, again, the Jiminy Cricket of the conscious, of like, you're going to screw this up. You're going to screw this up.
He's the Jiminy Cricket, but at the same time, he's trying to be Scott's conscious, but at the same time, he's also his antagonist.
Oh, absolutely.
He's very much Scott's antagonist.
I'm trying to,
and he's kind of half rooting for him and half rooting against him.
I know, and there's that. When we get to Gideon, I think that Jason Schwartzman was a good casting choice in this.
I haven't gotten that far in the book yet.
But it's because he comes into it later.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, I mean, he's good playing that slimy record exec.
Like I said, I know with a last name like Schwartzman, how can you not be a bad guy?
But I mean, he's.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear his last name, I think of Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, the Schwartz.
The Schwartz.
But that's of course you remember him from Rushmore and all those movies. He really made his name in those Wes Anderson movies. And as well as some other stuff. But he did a really good job as Gideon, I thought. Even though, again, they didn't
really
give him enough, and
they didn't flesh him out again.
No, and
the front half of the movie they kind of fleshed people out.
And then, like I said, the back half of this movie is just a rush to get to the finish.
Okay, this is building. This is great. What do you mean we got to finish this? Oh, crap.
And, and I think some of it has to do with the fact that, like I said, the final book in this series didn't come out until like a month before the movie came out. And I think that might have had something to do with it. Now, Bryan Lee O'Malley helped through all of it, of like he was writing it, but it was still one of those things, they had a script before that book was complete.
Oh yeah,
that they were working on.
That's probably why the last book took so long to come out, is because he was probably writing the screenplay.
Well, but it didn't. I mean, it came out on a fairly regular, like I do remember them announcing that there was going to be a delay with the final book because of the movie. They didn't want it to come out too far in advance of the movie. They wanted it to kind of come out not really simultaneously, but somewhere close.
I would really love to see a production company pick this up and do like a Netflix original series.
Yes, this would,
or like a Prime original series.
Maybe not even a series, but a mini series, like a limited series would be great for this. Like how HBO has done several, like like Chernobyl or
no, that was HBO. That was HBO, yeah,
or Sharp Objects or something like that, where it's these. No, we can tell this in 6 or 8.
Yeah,
and that's all. We don't have to come back. I think it would be wonderful for something like that.
Yeah.
I was telling you, one of the things, because this is such a video game, movie and book series, that there was a video game that was released. It was a digital only game. Okay.
Oh, for Scott Pilgrim.
For Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
PS3.
It was on the PS3 and the X. Hold on, let me pull this up because I've got it here.
Xbox 360.
It came out. It was that era. This is 10 years ago when this came out. Okay. And it was one of those things that, let's see. Hold on. Where is it? A video game adaptation developed. Ubisoft made it. It was for the PlayStation Network. And then also the Xbox Live.
It was a digital download.
It was a digital. It was you can. There is not a disc of this anywhere. The only way you could get it was through their store. Like either through PS3 or the Xbox 360.
I hate that.
And so here, 10 years later, unless you downloaded that onto an old system that you still have laying around somewhere, you cannot play this game. Because the rights, all the rights on this thing, the music, the likenesses, all that kind of stuff, have reverted by now, and so they can't. You're not going to see unless they go back and pay the rights on this. Yeah. You're not going to get it on any of those services, which sucks because it was actually a pretty fun side-scrolling video game.
Yeah.
And it also has a soundtrack, which you can actually still get the soundtrack to the video game. It's all 8-bit type stuff and everything.
Oh, I think I had
probably on there.
Yeah, Brian LeBarton did an 8-bit version of Threshold.
Yeah. So and that's one of those, because like I said, it was a fun game. It was hard. It really goes back
was
to
it like a Street Fighter type
thing?
Kind
of like kinda. It was more of like a Streets of Rage or a Double Dragon, where it was that type, rather than just the one-on-one fighting. It was you're fighting through these levels, or the arcade, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade, something like that, where it's left to right. Your enemies walk in, you're fighting them, and you move on to the next part. I had it, and I don't have it any longer. I don't have a 360. I had one at the time, and I know I had bought it, downloaded it, and played it for a while, and I don't have it any longer, and I don't remember how to. I think you could still maybe go get it.
I wonder if there's an emulator out there somewhere.
There probably is. I don't know though, but it's.
If you know about the emulator, folks, please let us know.
Bryan Lee O'Malley did a book 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, called Seconds. SECO, like seconds,
Yeah.
That very much in the same style.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, Scott and Ramona are in the book, like in a panel.
Okay.
because it is, like, I haven't read it, and I'm almost positive it is, because I had passed it on. All right, my friend Maeve really got into this when it came out. Her and I were a thing at the time, and she really got into it, like really got into all this stuff.
Okay.
And when that came out, I told her, you need to go pick this up. And she did, and I remember her like, oh my God, blah, blah. And it's one of those where it's like, obviously it's set in the same world, but it's none of the characters that and basically it's about a restaurant. That's the whole seconds,
Yeah.
And there's a, what do they call it? It's a restaurant spirit or something like that. It's this whole typical Bryan Lee O'Malley, like, where it's like you think it's one thing and then it turns out to be something else. It's a but I would highly suggest picking that book up as well and reading it.
I got to finish this.
Yeah, that's
first.
fine. I've got it at home. It's it's sitting on my bookshelf with some other with graphic novels and stuff that I've got.
Funko Pop.
Yeah. Okay, that's another thing. They put out Funko Pops of this.
Yeah.
I only ever found Ramona and Knives and one of the Scott Pilgrim. There was two different Scott Pilgrim Funko Pops. One of them, he's got the base, and the other one, I can't remember. But and then they also did one. I think they did one of Kim and of Steven Still as well. It was one of those things where
I wouldn't mind having one of the Kims just because I'm a drummer.
Those are all hard to find now.
Yeah,
because it's one of those things. Funko Pops are great, but whenever they leave. Yeah. They become really expensive on the secondary market.
And
so,
like, I have room to collect any more junk.
I know. I'm the same way, and I keep buying the damn things on top of it all. So.
When we moved, we went from 3,200 square foot to 1,200 square foot, and I'm still trying to figure out where to unpack the stuff we haven't even unpacked like 5 years later.
But that's the whole thing with this, is that, again, we're 10 years beyond the movie, 10 years beyond the end of the books, and it's one of those things I would love for Bryan Lee O'Malley to go back to this world for something, whether it's it's just one graphic novel, or it's a new series or whatever. Show them later what happened. Did Scott and Ramona make it? Did he finally get together? Is he an investment banker now or something? I don't know. Kind of that whole, and he gets sucked back into whatever. I don't know, something. I would love to see it.
I don't see him being.
I'm just putting that out there but it's one of those things where.
I could see him being one of those pretentious music store employees.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, maybe he's running a records. Maybe it's High Fidelity. So it's basically become High Fidelity now.
Wow, okay.
Or explore the world. Like I said, when Seconds came out, where it's, okay, this happens in this world. Yeah. We're not going to really see those characters except for maybe cameo. They walk through, they're eating at this restaurant. They're, whatever. I'm fine with that. I love to see that kind of stuff. But it is one of those things that as time has gone on, and especially when we first started discussing doing this, I was really excited to get back into this world again. It's been so long and I loved this so much. And like I said, I've seen the movie countless times, but I need to go back and reread those books because it has been 10 years since I've read them. Well, and I know I've got them now.
I gave you back 1 and 2. I need 3 and 4,
and I've got the rest of them at home. So, but I just the Funko Pops outside of that, I don't really think there's any other merchandise except maybe some shirts or something, And that's kind of one of those. I'm like, man, I think they could have really done something with this. It had enough of a cult following that I think they really could have done something, but they never did. So.
Especially if they could put out like some Funko Pops that look like they're 8-bit.
Oh yeah,
like build them good, so they're like,
because they've done that. They've done that with other ones. They've done those with what was it the Stranger Things? 8-bit. They've done 8-bit on that as well as Ninja Turtles and a few other things. Yeah. So.
Like if you could do like an 8-bit version of the Scott Pilgrim cast. Mm-hmm. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd buy them.
I know you would.
So anyway, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It is if you have not seen it, it is a good movie. It really is. It's a lot of fun.
Watch the movie before you read the books.
Yeah,
you definitely need to. This is one of those situations where you need to watch the movie first, because you will enjoy the movie a lot more if you watch it before you read the books. Maybe,
I don't know. I mean, because I do remember some people being disappointed with the movie. Again, because you've only got a couple hours to flesh out this world, and it's hard to do, especially when you front end load it the way that they did.
Watch the movie, read the books, then go. The second you finish reading the books, go back and watch the movie again, because you're gonna catch a lot of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
In the movie from the books.
No. This movie is one of those movies you have to watch multiple times in order to really catch what's going on, a lot of stuff in the background and everything, because there are so many Easter eggs in this thing. It's not even funny.
Gelato's not vegan?
Yeah. Dude, the whole vegan police thing was so good. And
being vegan really makes you better than everybody else.
I know. It's like, you can read minds. I'm vegan. Everyone can read minds.
It's like, I know those people. People.
Yeah, and it's funny. And that's the whole thing. You got the Punisher, you got Superman, you got Captain America.
Yeah.
You've got Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's like all these people, they're like, okay.
The Marvel Universe runs through Scott Pilgrim.
In a lot of ways, and so.
And just the fact that, Scott Pilgrim's playing that old Rickenbacker bass.
Oh, I know.
And then Todd shows up with brand new Music Man.
I know. And it's just like. But yeah, go and check out the soundtrack too. It's really good. Frank Black, Beck. You got Metric.
Oh, hold on.
Got,
let's see here. I've actually got the list here.
You've got Plumtree.
You actually have some songs by the actors as Sex Bomb.
Right. And the Sex Bomb songs are great. I absolutely love them.
You've got Plumtree. You've got Dan the Automator did the songs for Ninja Revolution.
Oh, yeah. Ninja. I know they called it Ninja Revolution.
Yeah,
so.
You've got Garbage Truck was written by Beck, but it was performed by the actors.
Right.
You've got Brendan Canning as Broken Social Scene presents Brendan Canning, which would be like Crashing the Boys.
Right, Crashing the Boys. Another video game, Crashing the Boys. And I love that this song is called I Am So Sad.
I am sad and very, very, very... I am so sad. I am so very, very sad.
And it's like
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you.
Thank you. I know.
It's not a race, boys. This song is for the guy in the balcony that keeps shouting. Yeah. It's called I Hate You and I Hope You Die. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know, that's perfect for that indie rock. Oh, yeah.
Frank Black.
Yeah, Frank Black did the Ramona.
Black Lips does O Katrina.
The Stones are on there also.
The Stones Under My Thumb.
Which, that was the one that I was like, this is a little too on the nose. This
I thought it was perfect because Gideon is so...
I know. But that was
so slick,
but that
very
was
produced.
That song, where it comes in, I was like, this is a little bit too on the nose for me.
You've got Beachwood Sparks. Of course, once again, Broken Social Scene. We Hate You, Please Die.
Yeah.
I am so sad, so very, very sad.
So very, very sad.
Talked about Dan the Animator with Slick, Patel's song, T-Rex with T.
Yeah, that's right. Teenage Dream is on. I forgot T-Rex. So it's a good mix of like indie and like classic rock.
Yeah,
you got a couple of that kind of stuff.
You actually have the Seinfeld's theme.
Yeah, it does. It does pop up at one point. Yeah, that's right. That bass line. Yeah.
Actually, Black Sheep was performed by Metric and Brie Larson.
Well, on the soundtrack, it's Metric, but in the movie, it's Brie Larson.
Yeah,
singing. So
you've got the Final Fantasy II battle bass line. It's actually Michael Cera playing.
Right.
You've got Ramona doing. You got Beck does both the Ramonas.
Right.
You've got Flying Burrito Brothers is on here called To Ramona, which was actually written by Dylan.
Right.
Eddie Cochran, Nervous Breakdown. You've got the Blue Tones on here. You've got Blood Red Shoes on here.
I think you've got an extended version of it. There's stuff that's actually in the movie as opposed to what's on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But it's a good soundtrack.
You've got a band in here that I can't actually say the name to.
Fair enough.
You've got Death from Above, 1979.
Right. So,
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff.
So yeah, there is. It's a good soundtrack. It's a good movie, and it is a great series of graphic novels. And I say graphic novels because that's how they came out. They are in novel size and manga novel style. And he's 23 years old. That's what it is, not 22. So
in the movie, they make a point that it's 22 years old.
In the books, it's 23.
Because Kim goes, "What are you, like 30?"
Yeah, I know.
I'm 22. Yeah. I'm 22.
Yeah. So it's fun because it really does kind of poke fun at that time in your life when you think you're doing important stuff and you're really not.
Yeah.
And it also kind of gives you that window into the arrested development of some of us that, get caught in, I'm playing in a band. Oh, I love video games. Oh, I love comic books. Oh, I love, whatever.
It's that whole, I think I'm cool. It's definitely a failed attempt.
Absolutely cool. A failed attempt at being cool because let's be honest, Scott Pilgrim is not cool. His friends around him are pretty cool. He is not.
Even though in the beginning of the book, it's like, rating awesome.
Oh, I know, yeah, and I love that they give the ratings for the different people, like all of their stats and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed talking about it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Go out and check it out. Tell us your thoughts on the movie, on the game, on the soundtrack, on the books, whatever it is. You can get in touch with us at our new email address, which is projectgenxpod@gmail.com. I will get through that one of these days.
You better make sure that's actually right.
It is. It's projectgenxpod@gov. And so, we enjoyed rewatching and talking. Well, Dave enjoyed rewatching. I enjoyed remembering watching it multiple times. And check out Scott Pilgrim in any medium, whatever it is, because you're gonna. It's a good time. So.
If you've never done it before, watch the movie, read the books, immediately watch the movie again because you're gonna catch stuff.
Yeah, I agreed. So, anyways, I am Alan Smith.
I'm Big Dave,
and we will see you next time.
See ya.